Greetings and hello and welcome back to ASMR. That's right. Sexy book reading number, what is this? Is this 8 or 9? Let's take a quick, fuck it. Let's just keep moving along. Shall we? Let's do that. Welcome to ASMR Sexy Book Reading. Yeah, I think I'm about 7 or 8, 9 of these in. I think this is 8. I'm pretty happy with the way it's going so far. I don't know. I haven't seen any comments or likes yet. I know there's a lot of people that are listening to it. No one commenting. Nobody liking it. But maybe that's for a good reason. Maybe it's because you're like, this guy is peddling smut and I can't put my comments on there. That'll mean that I actually like this shit, and I listen to it and I get off on it. Whether you get off on it or whatever. I mean, that's your whole bag of beans, baby. You do what you do. You. So, did you enjoy that eclipse? Did you see that eclipse on Monday? Was it Monday? Yeah. And the moon covered the sun there, and it went dark, and it was very amazing thing to behold. It makes you feel small inside. You're just like, wait a minute. I thought I was important. I thought I was the most important fucking thing in the world. Now all of a sudden there's like, universe and stars and moons and shit, and the moon's in front of the sun there, blocking everything out for a minute. Another thing I thought about too was the whole idea of like, picture yourself as a caveman, or picture yourself as in the early days, the early times, and just seeing that. When your brain was big enough to create stories, cavemen were drawing pictures on walls of, oh, this is what I did today. I took my spear and I stabbed the fucking, hairy elephant. But you begin to put together stories, and then you start to, I've got a theory, that's where theories come in. I've got a theory about what happened there. And so, back in them early times, they're just like, Jesus Christ, what happened? Did you see that? And it's like someone starts going, yeah, it's somebody shutting the shades off, or it's some kind of sky god. It's a demon. It's a giant, something in the sky that did that. Thunder, lightning, all that shit. Just crazy to think about that. So when you have like a big eclipse like that, people just get worked up. They're just like, oh my God, that was just amazing. It's out of you're out of your element. You are literally out of your element. So with that in mind, I thought tonight we should get a little outer spacey with ASMR Sexy Book Reading number 8, and this is called Abduction. I bet you can take 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count, on what this is going to be about. I just scanned through this story. I haven't read it through all the way. If it gets down to licking dirty a-holes or anything like that, I might censor it a little bit, We gotta have a little respect for ourselves, don't we? Jesus Christ. Gotta have a little bit of, That's why I think, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for keeping everyone on the up and up. It's like, nope, that's too dirty. You're not gonna get no advertising revenue for that. Sorry about that, but that's just the way it is. I have my rathers about that, but whatever. It doesn't matter, does it? Tonight I'm enjoying a brainless Belgian ale. It's from a brewing company here called Epic. It's a 20 ounce, I think it's 20 ounces, 20 ounce bottle, 8.4% alcohol. It's really, really, really good. I love Belgian ales are very delicious. Anywho, Jesus Christ. As I say every time, how far are we into this son of a bitch? 5 minutes, 35 seconds. Oh my God. ASMR, look, giving you some rumble, some scratching, tickling. ASMR, sexy book reading, number 8, Abduction. Let's get into this story. And we begin. Mia woke up suddenly. She looked at the clock. It was off. No power. And a big old burpee right out of the gate. Sorry, guys. Just start again. Mia woke up suddenly. She looked at the clock. It was off. No power. She thought. Light was coming through the blinds on the window, but it still felt like it was the middle of the night. She got up to go to the window. As soon as she threw off the covers, chills went through her body. It was a cold November night, and since the heater wasn't on, it was cold. The fact that she was only wearing a nightshirt and her panties didn't help either. She folded her arms as she walked over to the window. Brrr, it was so cold. She opened the blinds a little bit, and the light was blinding, as if someone was shining a spotlight right at her room. Great, she thought. What the hell are the neighbors doing? They're probably looking through your windows, sweetie pies. Sorry, I hit the microphone. Sorry. She walked over and grabbed her pajama bottoms from the floor. She was about to go wake her parents. Oh, she's living at home. But she decided to look out the window one more time. This time, she opened the blinds all the way. The light was intense. She shielded her eyes from the blinding glare. Suddenly, the light turned a bluish color. It wasn't as bright, so she uncovered her eyes, but it still blinded her. But she started to feel weird. The light was mesmerizing her. She felt a strong urge to go to the light. Go to the light, Carol Ann. Remember that? Poltergeist? But she started to feel weird. The light was mesmerizing her. She felt a strong urge to go to the light. Her body was oddly warm, and her arms and legs started to tingle. She was scared out of her mind, but she didn't look away. She felt like she was literally a deer caught in headlights. Yeah, those deer, they do that. They just stop. She started to feel lighter, and before she knew it, she started to lift from the ground. At this point, she tried to scream, but nothing happened. She screamed as hard as she could, but no sound came out. Transfixed on the light, she tried to turn away, but she couldn't. As she levitated there, her body tensed and she dropped her pajamas. She didn't get those pajama bottoms on. Then she started moving forward toward the window. Horrified, she tried to scream again, but still no sound came out. She was afraid that she was going to hit the window, but when she reached it, she went right through it. It felt like walking through spider webs. Now, outside, floating out of her second-story window, she was even more terrified. For a split second, she was embarrassed that her neighbors would see her in her panties, but she didn't think about it for very long. Mia was now 20 feet from the ground and rising fast. The light was getting brighter and brighter, and as she got close, she started blacking out. Before she made it all the way to the source of the mysterious light, she passed out. I'm giving myself a C plus, B on reading this motherfucker. There we go. When she woke up, the lights were shining in her face again. But this time her eyes adjusted to the light and she could see. She was in a small room, lying on her back on top of a table in the middle. Her legs were spread out and her feet and her hands were strapped to the table. Is this going to turn into rapey shit? The room was round with a dome ceiling. The walls and the ceiling were made of shiny black metal, with green and red lights blinking here and there. They looked like whoever wrote this fucking story wrote there, so that wasn't me. They looked like a high-tech touch screen, computer on the wall, and one bright light on top of the dome. Other than that, and the table, there was nothing else in the room. She couldn't find a door. She tried screaming for help again, and this time she let out an ear-shattering cry. A few minutes went by. Nothing. Oh, Mia, you are in a world of shit. The story's got me captivated. I have a little drink of my beer, though. Pardon me, guys. It's all part of the experience, though. ASMR. Sexy book reading. Mia started thinking. She woke up to the power being out. A bright light pulled her out of her comfy bed and through her window. Now she was trapped in a high-tech looking room. Being a 17-year-old girl, oh boy. We're talking underage here. She had watched plenty of scary movies and realized quickly that she had been abducted by aliens. At first, Mia couldn't believe it. She had to be dreaming. This could not ever actually be happening. But it felt too real to be a dream. Someone must be tricking me. Someone may put something in your drink, right? Someone must be tricking me, she thought. But it seemed too real to be a trick, and what happened next proved to her that it was the real deal, baby. Now I got the hiccups. Right in the middle of reading a story is the best time to get hiccups. Suddenly, to her left, the wall opened, and she realized that was the door. Then, her worst fear came true. What came through the door was nothing short of a monster. It had legs and arms, like a human, but its hands had 3 fingers with 2-inch claws, and its feet had 4 curved claws. Its entire body was smooth, glossy, dark gray skin that looked fleshy but muscular. Its little eyes were yellow. It had a big mouth with sharp, serrated teeth and no nose. It had 5-foot-long tail, a 5-foot-long tail, and 5 tentacles, 2 on each side under its arm, and on its groin. Oh, its groin? That's the penis area. Oh, she's going to tell you right now. I didn't realize of it. 2 on each side under its arms and on his groin, where a human penis would be. That's what she says. On all 5, a human penis on all 5 tentacles. There was a hole at the end, making them resemble an elephant's trunk, only as big around as someone's arm, at overseen feet tall, over 7. Jesus, whoever wrote this story is. Let's find out who wrote this, because I've been doing a fantastic job of covering up their bullshit. Yeah, it doesn't say. Jesus Christ. I've been doing a great job, guys, covering up, because I've seen little spelling errors here and there, and I think I've been doing a great job. So, now that I've scrolled and I kind of got ourselves off. I'm sorry. I was so stoked up to find out who wrote this story. There's no person that wrote this. On all 5 tentacles, there was a hole at the end, making them resemble an elephant's trunk, only as big around as someone's arm. At over 7. Here's what it says on this line: at over seen feet tall. And I know what they're saying. At over 7 feet tall, the alien stood over her and hissed. Is that what an alien does? If you have an alien standing over you that's got a bunch of tentacles with penises and everything, what sound does he make? Put that in the comments below. What sound does he make? Serrated teeth and muscular. Here we go. Mia screamed. She was scared out of her mind. As she screamed, the alien covered its ear holes, which were located close to where a human's are, though farther forward. With his tentacles, he growled at her loudly. She screamed so hard that she was lightheaded. The alien reached one of its tentacles over to her face and sprayed her with a blue gas. When she breathed it in, her scream became a higher and higher pitch until it died away, and she couldn't scream anymore. She tried to say something, but she couldn't. The gas had taken away her voice. The alien uncovered its ears and walked over to the table. It's his way of saying, "Shut up, bitch." Jesus. And he covers his ear holes, and then he shoots her with some blue gas to go, "Geez, be quiet." With its claws, it ripped her shirt and threw it on the ground. So it ripped it, grasped it, and threw it on the ground. It had to have. It looked at her modest-sized tits for a second and then rubbed each of them with a tentacle. Mia was horrified, but she started to moan silently, and her nipples got hard. Jeez. She's like, "Man, I'm freaking out, but geez, I'm getting excited too." Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's a freaking alien rubbing your tits. She started to moan silently, and her nipples got hard. The tentacles started to secrete a pale green liquid that covered her breasts. This made her breasts start to tingle. Then the monster's tentacles stuck onto each nipple like a suction cup. They started to squeeze and suck each nipple. She shortly realized that the alien was milking her. The stuff it had squirted all over her breasts were making her produce milk, and now it was sucking it up in its tentacles. Alright, we're getting creepy. She kept trying to scream, but it was no use. She was so afraid that her whole body was shaking, and she felt like she was going to throw up. As the alien milked her, he used his claws to rip off her panties. Now she was completely naked, and her shaved patoosie was exposed and vulnerable. The rubbing and sucking of her tits, as much as it horrified her, had turned her on, so she was nice and wet. With the tentacle that was where a penis would be, it rubbed her wet. There we go with the C word. You know Mike Hunt? Mike Hunt, remember that guy? Yeah. It rubbed her Mike Hunt. She uttered and tried to scream again, to no avail. The rubbing stopped, and she looked down. From the hole in the tentacle, a slimy red shaft that could only be the alien's cock came out. It was slimy and firm, but fleshy and flexible. The tip was thin, but it grew to be about as big around as a soda can, and was a foot long. Jesus. As thick as a soda can and a foot long. Jesus. The slimy cock wiggled around and then buried itself in her pussy. Jeez. Just buried it in there. She shivered all over as the alien cock wriggled and slid deeper in her. She wasn't a virgin, so it wasn't as painful. But as it went farther in and got bigger and bigger, it stretched her out. Had she not been brought to an alien ship and raped against her will, she would be having the time of her life. Right? What is she, a racist? It's a white guy, black guy on Earth doing it. That's one thing, with his giant tuna can that's a foot long, but it's an alien, so I'm not having the time of my life. You should be having the best time of your life. It's a fucking alien. How many people get to say that? I was abducted by an alien, and the perfect time of my life penis that I'd have in here, yeah, the alien had it. What's wrong with that? Her pussy was tight against the slimy cock as it slid in deeper. When it went in about 10 inches, it stopped sliding deeper. Thank God. She felt it wiggling around inside her. It was a weird but intense, pleasing sensation. Soon the alien cock started pulsating, like it was trying to pump something inside of her. She became terrified, but the feeling of the pulsating cock in her made her pussy start to clench around it. She tensed up and had a strong orgasm. It was so intense that she screamed till her face turned blue, but of course no sound came out. The slime covering its cock started to make her convulsing pussy tingle, and she started to orgasm non-stop. She stopped screaming and tried to breathe, overwhelmed by her repeated orgasms. As the cock pulsated, she felt a warm liquid starting to feel her pussy. Her belly started to extend as her womb was pumped full of a liquid. Mia was so exhausted from her orgasm that she started to black out. Before she passed out, she remembered her belly being so big that it looked like she was pregnant. Then everything went black. After Mia had passed out, the alien finished pumping his sperm into her womb. Once his dick stopped pulsing, it secreted more slime to make removing it easier. After his big alien cock was free, he brought out one of his tentacles over. He brought over one of his tentacles and sprayed her pussy with a fine mist. This made it shrink and seal shut. Jeez. His seed was now sealed tightly in her pussy. Satisfied, the alien left the room. When Mia woke up, she was in her room again. She was lying with her sheets underneath her. She was completely naked, numb and exhausted. She was unable to move. The first thing she realized was that she was no longer pregnant. However, she soon realized that there was a tiny baby alien sucking on her nipples for milk. Dun dun dun. Well, I'll be damned. That's it. Abduction. ASMR Sexy Book Rating number 8, Abduction. Mia forced to, head into the alien, abducted by an alien spacecraft, raped by a wonderful penis that she would have loved if it was on Earth, but outer spaces, get out of here. And wakes up in her bed with an alien child suckling her nipples. Unbelievable. Well, guys, that's it for this this episode. If you like this, like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, tell your best friends in the world. Check out some of my other videos. I like to sing. I'm a song and dance man. I like to sing. I do some vlog stuff. I do all sorts of goofy stuff. If you like this, you might like something else. Anyways, I'm going to come in for a wet kiss, ASMR wet kiss, and I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Okay? Okay. Bye-bye.